can't be defeated. You need it to be a takeover generation. In Acts 4:31, the Bible said, as they prayed, the place where they were was shaking, and they were filled with the Spirit, and they spoke the word with boldness. Verse 33, as they started speaking with boldness, it said, with great power God gave them witness of the resurrection. Great grace was upon them. You can carry great grace and not have great witness. The only time great grace can produce great witness is when there is boldness. In Job 22:28, he said, declare, you shall decree a thing, it shall be established unto you. If you can't decree, you can't have. Isaiah 44:26, he said, I the Lord, I perform the words of my servants, and I confirm the counsels of my messengers. See, some of the people you see taking charge, you are 10 times better than them. The only reason they are the ones taking charge is because they were the bold ones. Those days when we were on campus, some of the guys you saw who people celebrated, they had nothing in their head. When you say a Luther, they are the ones leading. They climb up and talk nothing. Then the scholars who should rule the school, who should give direction, they stand behind, and they are Haluta Continua, Victoria Sata. Then you see cultists, people who had no brain, stand and talking nothing. At the end of the day, they vandalize library, they vandalize hostels, because that's all they know, all they knew. The ones who were leaders, because they had wisdom and intelligence, didn't have boldness. So you discover that is the intelligent who should lead that end up serving. So the bold leads the intelligent. That's why, in addition to your wisdom, in addition to the grace you carry, you must be bold. He said God has not given us the spirit of fear. He has given us the spirit of love, of a sound mind, and of courage, of boldness. He said the righteous is as bold as a lion. What you don't confront, you never conquer. When you find men conquer, it's because they have great brutality in confrontation. The takeover generation is a brutal generation. It's a courageous generation. It's a bold generation. Most of you are still victims because you have not confronted that gate. The day you rise up, you'll discover it's not that strong. You'll discover you were in bondage because you gave chance. Somebody will leave this meeting and say, enough is enough. And you will discover that is your deliverance. How did Esther take over? If I perish, I perish. And guess what? Nobody who makes that statement ever perishes. The ones who perish are the ones who never make it. Boldness. As a leader, I've seen many people under me. Some are so anointed. Oh, they have wisdom. When they open the scripture, you are wondering, where did you read it from? But as they are talking, they are stuttering, they are afraid. They don't go far. Then you see somebody else who knows little. He says it as though he is about to deliver the whole world. And then you find them, amazingly, they are the ones who cover mileage. And you are wondering, what is going on? Because you can't release what you carry unless you are bold, unless you are courageous. The righteous is as bold as the lion. Number 4, responsibility. No irresponsible generation can take over. A takeover generation is a responsible generation. That means you do what you have to do, or what you ought to do. If you ought to pray, pray. If you ought to study, study. If you ought to invest, invest. If you ought to stay awake all night, stay awake. He said a little sleep, a little slumber, and poverty will overtake you like an armed man. We have a lazy and an irresponsible generation. They lie down asking God to do what God told them to do. One of the patriarchs that I respect so much, he made a statement. He talked about 3 prayers that God will never answer. And one of those prayers, he said, is when you ask God to do what he already told you to do. It's the sign of a lazy generation. Paul was speaking in Ephesians 5. You read from verse 13 to 16. And the major emphasis there, he said, awake, awake, thou that sleepest, arise from the dead, and Christ will give you light. You know what it means? A lazy man is a dead man. And even though Christ is present, he can't give you nothing until you awake. Isaiah 60 verse 1, he said, arise, shine, your light is come. So your light can come, but it won't shine until you arise. So a generation that is irresponsible cannot take over. Deuteronomy 2:24, God gave Israel the land of Sihon, the land of Heshbon, but they could never take it until they rose up. And he said, rise ye up, take up thy journey, and go before the river Arnon. Behold, I have given unto you Sihon the king of the Amorite, and Og the king of Bashan. He said, begin to contend with him and possess the land. So God can give you a land, but if you don't rise to contend, you won't have it. Some of us who are crying here, God has already delivered our future, but we've not risen up. Maybe your future require a 40 days fast. Maybe your future require a 7 days night vigil. Maybe your future requires taking a degree. Maybe your future requires going for apprenticeship for 2 years. The more you reject that responsibility, the more stagnated you will be. A takeover generation is a responsible generation. And if you don't wake up today, a time will come when even if you choose to, you can't. He said, you shall remember your God in the days of your youth. He said, for the time cometh, even if you want to, you can't anymore. Because the outward man perishes. No matter how renewed the inward man is, if you don't take advantage of the outward man, you will be shocked, full of grace, yet no impact. We need to really see, you give people responsibility as simple as sweeping the floor. They can't get it right. Somebody lives in my house. I don't sleep early. I go to bed sometimes 2 a.m., sometimes 3 a.m. because I am more active in the night. Simple instruction. Every night before you sleep, since you snore by 10 p.m., bring water here, put this one here. I remind him every day. Bring water, I remind him every day, yet he doesn't get it. And I say, how can you take over your generation? You are already programming yourself to be a servant. I built a house, I put you there, I pay your school fees, I give you everything. Your only responsibility, you don't even wash my clothes. My clothes are dry cleaned. Your only responsibility in 24 hours is bring water. I will call him by 12, he won't wake up. I will go downstairs, shout. Then he will start running. So when you see lazy people, time is never enough. They are running up and down as if they are busy. Meanwhile, what they are running and they are overwhelmed with was a very simple task. But they didn't have responsibility mentality. When you see a takeover generation, they don't just take responsibilities. They build systems and structures around it. It's almost on auto mode. You see greatness, you think is a joke? You go see the administration, see the accountability, see the rigidity, see the structures. I tell my people, no matter how powerful a vision is, it can never be immortalized until it is systematized. People are irresponsible even over what they see. They wake up in the morning, they are scrolling phones, storing garbage in their soul, and they are wondering why they cannot be strong. Responsible generation. Job said, I have a covenant with my eyes, I won't look upon the virgins. So he wasn't living righteous by chance. There was a responsibility that made it happen. Jesus said, I must walk the walk of him that sent me while it is day. The night cometh when no man walks. So he was not impactful just because he was anointed. You have his anointing. Do you have his responsibility mentality? Bishop David Oyedepo said, they told him, when do you rest? They thought he would say, when I'm tired. I don't have the right to be tired if I've not finished. He said, I rest when I finish. God didn't rest. He worked 6 days non-stop until he was finished. Rest comes after you are finished. But check out a lazy man. 10 a.m. he's already stretching. He's yawning, overwhelmed with sleep. Meanwhile, he slept from 9, woke up by 7, but he's already sleeping by 10. And they say, this country is hard though. No, the country is not hard. You are too lazy to rise. Because the same country you call hard is where others are excelling. I'm not denying the fact that there's a lot of work that needs to be done. But how much have been done with you? You need to work on yourself first before you think of working on the country. Because all of us are the people that have made this country the way it is. Number 5. Vision. A takeover generation has a clear vision. If you don't have vision, you can't take over. Only those who have vision takes over. Habakkuk 2 from verse 1 to 2. I will stand upon my watch and see what he will say to me. And he said, write the vision, make it plain upon tables, that he might run that reads it. If there's no vision, you are running nowhere. You only run after the vision is clear. I tell my people, if you are in the wrong direction, speed is not an advantage. So vision must be clearly isolated before a generation can take over. In Proverbs 29 verse 13, it says, where there is no vision, the people perish. The outcome is already known. Don't waste your time praying. If you will pray, get vision first. If there's no vision, the people what? Perish. So every takeover generation has a clear vision where they are going. They have a clear strategy on how to arrive there. Nothing happening spontaneously can last. I watched a video recently and they were comparing discipline and motivation. The motivated guy took over. After a while, it was like this. The disciplined man was moving until he reached the end. You need vision. Some of us are spontaneous. After 3 months, you rise up, you are praying in the night. You are all over the place for 1 week. Then you shut down for another 3 months. No plan for month 1, month 2, month 3, month 4, 5 until December. But you are hoping, full of faith, that when December comes, even my enemies will know that God has helped me. You will squander God's help. We need vision. Ask 10 young people, sir, what is your vision? You'll be shocked that 9 don't know where they are going. They are just floating in the system. They don't know. Go and read, whether in the kingdom or in the secular world. Everybody who made impact had clear-cut vision. That's what determines the direction they went. That's what determines the discipline they put on themselves. That's what determines the friends they made. That's what determines the women they married. My vision was what inspired who I married. I knew ladies that will show up fingers like long as a fork. Hands are hanging like this. Eyelashes long. Now, there's nothing wrong looking beautiful. But where I'm going, I need a rugged person. When I'm not around, I need a woman that can double as a man to raise kings and prophets for me. I was not looking for a woman who her word ended with her fingernails. No information. I was looking for a woman that can engage me at the same intellectual frequency. Not a woman that all she has is her body. They wake up, they are walking like, I'm going somewhere, sir. When I'm not around, I need somebody that can talk sense to my children. So that when they rise as kings. They rise as prophets. That was what motivated the kind of person I loved. People who don't have vision, they are peripheral. And then there are ladies who are full of vision, and a man shows up, opens 4 buttons with big chest, walking with chest. Is it his chest destiny? A woman with value systems. Some have degree, masters, PhD. They have business plans, and you show up, all you have is chest with BS. You cap the line, it's like razor blade. Look handsome, that is good. Gene, be healthy, that is good. But what do you have here? The woman is looking for a leader who will take over from her father. Her father taught her values. Her father gave her education. Now she has a destiny to pursue. Chest alone is not enough. I have nothing against fingernails, nothing against good looks. My wife is beautiful. I have nothing against big chest. I have nothing against Jimmy. He's healthy and looking handsome is good. But destiny has a greater value on the scales. I tell my people from the beginning, the nobles marry for kingdom, not for emotion. We have an agenda. But if you don't have vision, any Jezebel can become your wife. And then you'll see their life messed up. A Samson can end his destiny on the lap of Delilah. Meanwhile, this was a judge of Israel.